Hi guys, my name is Sika and welcome to my channel. So today we are doing something different here. We are going to be baking banana oat cake. Yes, banana with oats flour. It's going to be very simple and we are using ingredients right in your kitchen. So you don't need to stress at all about where you're going to get ingredients from. So do stick around and let's learn and bake together. Hi again. So here we are just going to wing it, and these are the things that I normally use. Very simple. This is banana bread on a budget. So yes, I'm just trying to show you banana bread on a budget and somewhat healthy. So our star of the show is of course banana. So you have to make sure you have at least an overly ripe banana so that you don't need a lot of sugar, and 1 egg. The deal is anytime you're using 2 bananas, it just goes with 1 egg. If you're using 3 bananas, it goes with 2 eggs. And then of course my Quaker oats, I'm not using flour. So you just blend the oats in any blender or any grinder you have to have this consistency. I don't like my own very fine. I want some lumps inside, so we are going to be using that as well. And let me just still go through the wet ingredients. So I have an egg and my vanilla essence. I normally pair it with banana essence as well, but I don't have one at the moment. And of course I said it's on a budget, so we have melted vegetable oil. I normally use the Fortune margarine or the Unoli margarine for this, and a star girl, oh boy, Ideal milk. Now for our dry ingredients, of course we have oats flour, so that's going to be the flour we're going to use. Like I said, it's on a budget, so Milo should be fine because I'm doing banana cocoa cake. Of course, can't go wrong with your baking soda, your baking powder, your cinnamon. Now cinnamon, it's very important because it lowers blood sugar. At the same time, it just adds a little spice to it. A little bit of sugar. I like to add brown sugar instead of white sugar because it just has a little taste. I don't know, the taste is just different. And if you are going on the healthier side, instead of Milo, you need to add your royal cocoa powder. And that's how come a lot of people who are struggling with maybe diabetes or something, or just are on a sugar diet, love banana bread because you can actually tweak it to suit your needs. Of course, this is going to be a baking pan. This is just a parchment paper. I just cut it anyhow, but you're going to see it. And of course, you have your bag because you have to put a lot of things inside. So on to the next, we have our spoons. So you need like these measuring spoons. You can get it anyway. They sell plastics and all that. It has the half quarter and all that. It has the half quarter and all that, so you can get these measuring spoons. And of course you have your measuring cups. It's just a lot of cups and all that. You need either a silicone, it needs to be like a spatula or a wooden spatula. Please do not do metal. And of course you have your spoons and all that, and of course your bowl. It has to be a very sizable bowl so that you can put everything inside. So let's get right into it. So first things first, we want to mash up. You see how ripe it is. It's not like too ripe, but you can see the brown part of it. So anytime you have like overripe bananas, just turn it into a banana cake or banana bread. You don't need to throw it away, especially if it's all black. So I'm going to mash this one. Just mash it how you want to mash it. I like a bit of lumps in my own, and then we crack 1 egg into the solution, and then vegetable oil and our vanilla essence. So I'm just going to do that really quick and then we come back. So you can see I've whisked it a bit. You can use your fork, or you can use your whisk, or you can use your masher to just mash up your bananas. And you have to understand the consistency and everything. I want mine a little bit lumpy. I just want to be able to see the bananas and everything when the baking is done. But some people like it finer than this. I mean, your rules when it comes to bananas, only bananas. And then you just whisk. One thing I like about banana cake is that you don't need to force yourself and then whisk away. You don't need to do that. Once you see the bubbles forming, it means it's pretty much done. Right, so still on it, once that's done, you just take one of your measuring spoons, totally the one that says 1 tablespoon, and you pour your vanilla extract into it. Just pour it into it. You always have to have a container like this. It can be a plate, it can be anything, because you don't want anything spilling everywhere. It makes cleanup some way. I really like a lot of vanilla. This is it, vanilla essence. So I'm just gonna add just a few drops again. I mean, it's your rule, so do not over waste. So this is just melted margarine. You can melt it in the microwave, you can low heat on the stove, your rule, just make sure it melts. And so this is it, and so I just winged it, but this is just half cup of margarine, and you just pour it in. Make sure it's melted, make sure it's not hot at all. You don't need at all, sorry, you don't need a hot at all. So again, you just give it just a good stir, nothing major. And you have to gauge. The reason why I like the wet ingredients first is because if you start with the dry ingredients before the wet ingredients, it might be a disaster, because then you would have done too much of dry ingredients, and then your liquid will be smaller, and then you will end up getting some banku or something, right? So it's very, very important to do your wet ingredients first, so that the dry ingredients would you kind of use your wet ingredients as a gauge for your dry ingredients. I really hope that's understood. So yeah, basically that's it. We do not add the ideal milk. The ideal milk is like the last wet ingredients I'm going to use, but we do not add it yet because it's going to serve as our water. Let me put it that way. So after my dry ingredients, then I add the milk. Some people like to add milk during this process, but I like to wait and see how viscous or how runny my every mixture is, or when it comes to an end, before I add the milk. Apart from the ideal milk, I like I said, it's banana on a budget, but apart from ideal milk, you can always add skim milk, any milk at all. Just make sure it's whole enough. So onto our dry ingredients. Right, so now we are getting into our dry ingredients. So we are going to put the fork somewhere, like I said, just something to just keep your stuff. I like to just close everything when it's done. And then we are going to the silicone spatula or your wooden spatula, just something simple. So some people like to use a sieve for the dry ingredients part, but I like lumps and all that, so I'm not going to use that. And so let's get right into it. So like I stated earlier, this is the oat I'll be using, the oat flour I'll be using, because we are trying to live more healthy. So we don't want a lot of flour, a lot of, all those kind of things that will make it very, very heavy. So this is just 1 cup of oats flour. And so what I do is 2 ripe bananas. It can be foreign, it can be local. It's to 1 egg, it's to 1 cup of oats. And please make sure, so I've poured that in. Honestly, you were supposed to do this in a separate bowl, but I kind of know what to do already, so it's not that difficult. But if you don't really trust how you're going to pour in everything, just get a separate bowl. Honestly, just do your dry ingredients, sieved if you want it very fine, and then go back. One thing I would say about oat flour is that it absorbs so much. Like, it really does. It really absorbs so much. So make sure you start with 1 cup. Even if the recipe is 1.5 or something, trust me, just start with 1 cup, especially if you're using my method of pouring the dry ingredients straight into the wet butter. If you're doing it separately, which I kind of recommend, then that one you'll be safe, because what you do is that right after the dry ingredients, you're going to gauge how you are pouring it into the wet ingredients. But if you are going to use the lazy approach like me, please, from experience, please just use 1 cup first, and put all your dry ingredients as little as possible. After you twirl it and stir it and everything, then you can add more. But for now, let's do that. So let's continue adding our dry ingredients. So the main one is in, the rest of them will just follow. We are doing healthy living here, so I just took the royal cocoa, just a spoon of royal cocoa. And for the Milo, I just used 1 sachet. If I wanted it very, very sweet, I would have used 2 sachets, but the way the thing is, let's just use 2 sachets so that we don't need a lot of sugar. So I'm just pouring the 2 sachets of Milo here, and then the 1 cup of royal cocoa. So I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and then a half tablespoon of baking soda, and then 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, because like I said, the lowest blood sugar, and I just love the smell of cinnamon. So if you don't love the smell of cinnamon, that's fine, you can skip it, but I do. So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of this, and then 1 tablespoon of sugar. So I'll be right back after I do all that. Lovely. So now that I've done everything, like I said, you can use the sieve. So what you do is that you pour everything into the sieve, and then it's more fine, but I like to feel feelings. Like I like to feel stuff. So now this is the trick. With banana cake, you don't stir vigorously and everything, you only twirl to combine everything. So looking at my hands, you can see my hands are going round. I probably would do a lot off camera, but I just want to teach you how to do it. So you just fold, you fold. It's a bit tedious, but trust me, this is how to make sure it's incorporated without being so runny. So you just twist. So I'm gonna come back when I've twisted enough. Great. So now that I've incorporated everything, you can see it's well, mixed and everything. Like I said, you just roll it this way and then make sure that, so you can see that there's a lot of lumps inside. This is how I like to do my banana cake. Some people like it a bit should I say very, very smooth. I mean, your rules with that. And so, but you realize that one thing I used to indicate is that when I pick it up, it's not dropping as much. I don't know, you can see that it's not really dropping as much. It means it's a bit viscous for my liking, right? Some people like it this way. Some people even like it drier than this. Some people really like it like almost banku level, right? But I want it to be a bit, runny, just a bit. So it even helps you to even take the butter and put it into the, baking pan and all that. So Ideal Milk to the rescue. Please do not use water. I like to wing it, but normally people just put like 1 or half cup really of milk, any milk at all. But I like Ideal Milk, it's much creamier. So I just like to wing it. I start very, very small and then twirl it first. So you realize that another thing I see people, or I was doing at first, was that I was just leaving it like this, right? I'm telling you, if you leave it like this without incorporating all the milk, whatever milk you are going to use, especially whole milk, know that your banana cake, the top is just going to bend. So please make sure you incorporate it. You can see how I'm folding it. Just fold the inner part inside, just like this. Don't overmix if you want it lumpy. I mean, if you want it runny, no problem. But if you want it like, almost rich looking, I don't know what I can form up, almost rich looking, then please. So make sure it's well incorporated. Do not leave anything on top. So you can see that it's almost dripping. So I want to add just a teeny tiny more because of how I like mine. So this will probably be about, a quarter cup or something. I mean, it's your rules, but please don't leave it on top like this. Make sure it's well incorporated. Make sure it's well incorporated. Do not leave anything on top. Trust me, it's going to bend. Yeah, so, and banana cake doesn't like mixing plenty. So, yeah, I think, you see now, have you seen how it's coming off? Rich, beautiful, and all that. I didn't really feel a lot of the cinnamon and everything, so I'm just going to sprinkle a dash in. So this is the period where you can now incorporate more oats. If you realize that it's too runny for you, more oats, say half cup of oats, please leave out the baking soda and baking powder when you are doing the addition. So just more oats. maybe more cinnamon, more sugar, more cocoa. These are the areas you add it. Maybe more vanilla essence, you know, and all that. Maybe you have banana essence to more of that. This is the period where you add all those things. When almost everything is done, and then you realize, oh, I need something else. Please do not add more banana. Don't add more banana to this. The banana is done. The eggs are done. Else, after you bake, you realize that you still smell egg. The whole thing will be eggy, because with this one, you may not whisk it well if you pour the egg here. Even if you whisk it separately and you add it, how to now incorporate it is hard work. So the only secondary things you can add is more milk. If it's too viscous and you want to make it runny, more cinnamon, more vanilla essence, more oats. Those are the things you can add to make sure it's still perfect. And please gauge. Anytime you do this, please gauge. So we are now coming to do our decorations with our chocolates. Like I said, it's on a budget. So I just use this Munche chocolate cookies. You can use any cookies you want. You can even use granuts, pecans, almonds, anything at all. Your decorations, your roux, and then of course chocolates. I had this in the fridge, so I'm doing it. When you get to this part, I like it this way, so I'm done with my butter. When you get to this part, depending on what your oven looks like, you should be preheating by now. Let me show you. People's ovens, you know, take a while, right? They take a while. So for some people, start the preheating as soon as you mix the butter, because the butter literally takes just 10 minutes or even 5 minutes to just mix up together. For my own, I think when it gets to this stage, I can just start the preheating. So it depends on how yours is. Bake it for about 30 minutes. So let me preheat for 35 minutes. So it's on now. Depending on how your oven is made, this is how it looks like. And then make sure your rack too is ready to go, because after you are done, you need something to put it on. Do not put it on your bare counter. But I mean, if you have a marble, you know, worktop, no problem. But just for shaking reason, just get a rack or something, or a napkin. You can get a napkin, or you can even get a wooden plate or something, so that nothing hot touches your surface. So on to the next, which is our decoration. Just a simple really like a simple thing. So normally I just like to do this in a batter, but some people like to start their decorations in their bowl. But I mean, do you? So I like I've been telling you from the beginning, I like to see things. So I just broke some of the cookies and then just place them in. If you want to savor every bite, make sure you press it down and try and scoop the butter on top of them, so that you know it's inside. That's why if you are watching your sugar, you have to really make sure that the sweets don't overpower the whole thing. So that's how come some people really don't add sugar and just really use the banana and mellow, you know, and cocoa, because sometimes your assortments, you know, or what you're going to add will be really more sweet. Some people like to add chocolate chip cookies, so you can see that's all disappeared. Don't worry, it's inside. Some people like to add more chocolate cookies, you know. Some people like to add M&Ms, anything. So if you are watching your sugar intake and you pour a lot of sugar at the beginning, and you are now coming to put all these things on top, my friend, I mean, really, right? So I don't like to add a lot of sugar at the beginning, so that I'm free to do this. Of course, you can add your, you know, not lemon, so you can add your almond, walnuts, anything. So you can decorate it how you want to, you know, decorate it, you know. My people, they kind of like this biscuit a lot, so I just put it at the four corners for them. I mean, your roux, some people like to use Oreos, and try and press it down. Okay, just try and press it. Some people even like to do it this way, so it's facing up. I mean, do you? It's your personalized goodie, you know. So it ends up looking like this. And just a little bit more of the chocolate. I like to make it to chunks. I think this is okay, but maybe for shaggy reason, let me just add another one. So yeah, voila. So this is it. This is very simple. Don't worry, it will rise because of the baking powder and baking soda. So for this one, it's 26 seconds. I just want to do the Ghanaian way of testing with my hands. You know, sometimes we don't even believe that we've locked our car door and everything. So yeah, Ingo, please place it in the middle. Some people even pour water before this, but I trust this. So just place it in the middle for everything to, you know, be there, and close it. Please keep a napkin or a mitten nearby so that it's easier to pick it out. So I'll catch you when it's done. It is done. So I can't even describe the smell emanating from the kitchen right now. Charlie, it's a Ghanaian home. We don't have mittens, but Charlie, you have to make sure your napkin is very, very thick. Please watch the sides. I know what I'm saying. That bent me once. And don't be like me and use only one hand to do this. Yeah, so it is here. It's done. It's a beauty. So when you do the toothpick method again, make sure it comes out very, very well, or at least there should be at least some, I don't know if you can focus, at least some small ones be on it, but really it should just come out very, very easily. And you have to wait for it to cool down, even not completely, but at least it should cool down so that, you know, everything stops and then you can really taste everything. If it's hot and then you eat it, you would burn your mouth. So make sure it cools down a bit and enjoy with warm milk or just anything you have on hand. So there you go, the banana cake is ready now. It's, you know, cool, just like how I like it. I like it, you know, a bit rich. Let me come under some light so that we see. I like it a bit, you know, rich and all that. You can see that because I didn't mix it so much. You can see it's, you know, things are inside fine. And I like to cut this corner as well. So I mean, it's your rules. You can do it however you want to do it. So bon appetit. Just how I like it. Mushy, not bent, soft, and all that. I can still see the banana as well because I don't like it very fine. I can still see a bit of the oat as well. The sugar is not so much. The cinnamon is not overpowering. Honestly, you should try it. Finally, we are done. I hope you really enjoyed the tutorial. I mean, it was step by step. I tried to explain as much as I could, and as you realize, it was ingredients right in your kitchen, no hassle at all. And so don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. You know, I really need the comments to know if you were able to do it or not, and let me know in the comments what you want me to try on next. Till next time, bye.